We're back again with another first impressions video for Marvel Strike Force. We'll be looking at Ironheart, a character that's quite interesting because the teams that she's slotting into, the Power Armor team, for so long Vision has been the 5th Power Armor character. Not technically Power Armor, but he's worked very well there. So it'll be interesting to see if she offers a lot more. Personally, I think I'll just actually be running Vision in the 5th slot for the time being, because there's so many teams to actually invest in. And this one you're looking at here, this Ironheart, isn't on my account. I don't have it at 70,000 power or anything like that. I don't even have it unlocked, to be honest. But 70,000 power we're looking at here. 7 yellow stars, 4 red stars. It will be the usual first impressions minus the orb opening. So we'll talk about which tier 4s you invest in. We'll check out the stats that have been punched into the spreadsheets. We'll have a look at our animations, and then we'll run into Nexus 8.3. That's the new stage I try out with the higher level characters I have access to at the moment. But let's jump in and we'll have a look at the stats first. So I've got the stats written down here. If we look at her health, that is a D rating, which is on the lower side, but when we check out the armor in a moment, it does get pulled up a bit. Survivability. Damage definitely on the higher side, it's up at a B. The armor, as mentioned, on the high side, that's up at an A, but that's what you would expect there. Focus, exceptionally high, and focus is a stat that seems to be subject to a bit of power creep. Most characters I'm looking at now, the focus and resistance are just going higher and higher to counteract the characters that come out before, but that is an A rating, possibly an A+. You then have resistance, that's coming in at a C rating, and then her speed, she's still pretty zippy there. It's 116, so that is a B rating. But that's all the stats, so let's look at the abilities now. Tell you which ones, if any, I would invest your tier 4 materials in. Starting off then, we have Prototype Repulsors. So you're attacking primary target for 260% damage, and you're gaining an assist from Iron Man, and then you get an additional 60% damage to just the primary target if you were to upgrade it. So for that reason, no chance. If it was maybe all targets, I would think about it, but 60% damage to one target, simply not worth it at all. Yes, you're getting Iron Man assist, but still not one that I would go for there. We then have Deploy Flares, so it's 4 turns to charge, comes fully charged, meaning you'll be using it turn number 1. You're attacking primary and adjacent targets, 160% damage, disappointing not to see it attacking all, and then you're reducing the speed bar of primary and adjacent targets by 15%, applying ability block to just the primary character, whereas Vision was applying it to 2 characters. This is just 1. If you max it out, not worthwhile once again, an additional 20% damage, but it's just to, in most cases, 3 characters, unless you're in a raid or what have you, due to the primary and adjacent, and no one like Magneto being there to pull characters together, and then reduce speed bar by 5%, so not worth your tier 4s once again. The ultimate certainly looks a bit nicer, especially when you bear in mind it will line up with the Fence Up and Rescue. So turn number 2 it's available. It's called Heartbreaker. You're attacking all enemies, 230% damage and applying Fence Down. I've got a really itchy nose right now and it's putting me off. I'm going to quickly scratch it there. It's put me off for a second. I thought, can I get to the end of this segment? No, I cannot. So it has to get done. But with this as well, in War you're gaining 100,000 extra focus for this attack, which is pretty crazy. So you're always going to get that defense down there. And then you're getting 30% to all enemies. So that's pretty nice on its own, but you're applying that defense down for 2 turns. That will line up with Iron Man and War Machine firing off their AoE attacks as well. And they'll have a fence up, so that'll hit really, really hard. I'm getting itchy nose once again. So the passive is Prodigy. With this on spawn, you're applying defense up to self and all power armor allies for 2 turns. Feels really lazy. It's just a way of offering what Vision offered. It's just exactly the same thing really for the passive. And then with this you're getting some stat boost as well. You're getting resistance, you're getting health, and that's all going to your power armor allies and your tech allies as well, actually, not just your power armor. With this, Rescue actually offers 15% max health, so you could do a fair bit of stacking in the health there. If you max it out, wouldn't say it's worthwhile in the first instance, but if you're maybe going really hard on the power armor team, it may be, but not really sold on it. You're getting your extra health, you're getting some resistance. Again, always going to match and run your resistance check first. See if you actually need that resistance before you actually upgrade it if you are going to invest in the team. But that's all the abilities there, so let's go in and we'll have a look at the animations now. This will be the first time I'm seeing them as well. Here we go, let's put on ×1 for the animations. So let's see, ability wise, we'll actually use the basics first to start off, because you can get 2 or 3 different animations for the basics when you're defeating or doing damage to characters. We'll see how many of them we can see before we then have to do the special and the ultimate. But that's one variant of the basic we've had so far. Let's see if we can get another one here. There we go. We had a repulsor blast and then we got a kick this time. We'll try one more, see if we can get another one. Got a way on the outside here. Let's actually just go here. Ah, there we go, a double blast. That's actually 3 different animations she's got. Generally characters have round about 2. I don't think many have as many as 3 different animations there. But let's now go for, we'll stay on the outside. We'll go for the special, because you're only hitting so many targets, otherwise I would take them all out. That's pretty nice, that one, firing off all the flares. And then following on from that, we will do the ultimate this time, and then we'll do the Nexus 8.3 gameplay. There's ultimate. Ah, it's actually in the shape of a heart then as well, that explosion. That's a nice little touch, but there we go. So we'll do Nexus 8.3 and we'll show off the power armor team. I'll show them off as well just before we do go in and do it. So we've got a pretty nice setup here, 419,000, not as nice as a Black Order team from the other day, 574,000. You can see the Thanos, Corvus, Glaive and Ebony Maw up there at the top of this particular account as well. Pretty unbelievable, but 419,000, so they still are going to hit really hard, and this is Nexus 8.3. Animation wise, we will go for ×2. Most of these characters, we've seen them for really quite some time. So Rescue going first still here. Really interesting to see how the interaction works. I think I've got it all figured out. This does feel really underwhelming. You can see Creole Guard has got the taunt already here, which means you're stuck on the outside. You only get an ability block on one character and we'll only be hitting that other one. Let's see. Yeah, that definitely feels underwhelming there. Now we'll go for the basic and then we'll get some speed up here. We're really saving everything for rescue. And then from there, you do a fair amount of damage. It feels like, in a way, Ironheart's just a way of giving this team some extra damage. You're stripping out some utility and you're replacing it with damage. Is that worth upgrading a completely new character for? I don't think I'm convinced. Need to do some more matches, but at this stage, not convinced just yet. Here we go for this. Your defense down is applying afterwards, but it will still apply to your War Machine, your Iron Man, and I suppose your Falcon as well when he gets his ability. There it is there. Chewing through these characters, but that is to be expected. And then we'll go for Iron Man this time. So they feel ever so slightly different, but again, I kind of touched on it a second ago. Not sure if it's different enough to invest in a character, given how much characters actually cost and how sparse materials are these days. Once again, I've run out of the training materials when I was upgrading someone today. But we're just about done here. And then what I will look to do is do some Blitz gameplay in a later video as well, and then that way we can see how they go on against some of the other teams. Now, with Ironheart, I'm pretty sure in the first instance our kit was looking really strong on a counter to Merc's team. I'm pretty sure that was the case, but let me know in the comments below if our kit was nerfed prior to going live, and what team do you think Ironheart and the Power Armor team's really geared up towards taking in now? Or would you even drop her in, or would you just keep fishing? Let me know about that as well. But there we go. So, as always, hope the video's been helpful. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. See you all again soon.